Hey everybody, so that's it's. I was just watched my video from last week. That's probably the easiest way for me to kind of keep up with, like to know, okay, what do I do next? And yeah, this is working great. Like if I, when I first came here, I was on localhost from my other project, and immediately pushed me to discrete. I can hit API, continuous, logs, continuous. I can reload and uh-oh, continuous reload. Oh no, got a bug. Um, API works. Continuous does not work. Does logs work? Logs works. API works. Discrete works. Wah wah. All right, I guess I know what this what we're gonna do this time. In this effort. So I think what we have is, did I misspell continuous? Continuous. That is spelled the same, I think. Up here we have in our constructor, we check to see which, where we're at, and we use this library to map the URL. Oh, so I did have it misspelled. Oh yeah, the W, the W, the W. Yeah. So, oh, and actually, I think the problem is, let's see, Control Z. What is the problem? I actually even think that's wrong, right? Because this should be continuous up here. So I got problems. I got problems with spelling that have made my life a living complexity. Let's see, that's misspelled. Probably should have looked up. Let me hit Control Z and just do a search. Just find everywhere. Okay, let's just make sure that is how you spell continuous, right? Continuous. Yeah, that's right. Ah, spelling. Spelling. I mean, this is like I'm having flashbacks to fourth grade all over again. Um, I think, I don't know. I think the thing that I've always been I took to programming very quickly when I was a kid, and it was just really easy for me. Um, so so that's weird. And then, but spelling was always extremely difficult for me. Oh, that's because I haven't saved this one. There we go. Spelling was always a challenge for me, and I think it's like, and then I didn't really even realize why it was a challenge until my daughter was about 5 years old, and I don't remember what the word was, but there was like week six of spelling. It was like a word like, um, let's see, buy, B-U-Y, and I would be like let's say on week two she was spelling B-Y, buy, and it would be like, okay, yeah, you got this. She'd be like, yeah, I got it, blah blah blah, blah. Did perfect on it. And then week three, buy, B-U-Y, and I'm like, look, it's obvious. I mean, can't you hear it? It's buy. I'm trying to do phonetics, and she's like, I guess I hear it. She's looking at me like, this authority figure is gone completely crazy. And then I was like, oh my gosh, last week we had the exact same word spelling wise. And I was telling her to listen, to sound it out. And you can't, yeah, it sounds exactly the same. I don't think it was, but I think it was something that was um, like where it was like four or five letters and they were the exact same sound. but they were two different words. Um, and I don't think there's really consistent words and rules in computer programming to make things that. So now we have it working. We've fixed our bugs. We are 5 minutes in, so this is a good time. So the next thing I want to do is just add our new. I mentioned last week that it was probably a good idea to add a new uh, um, navigation service. So basically, we'll just copy this speech service command script, whatever. I don't know what the right word for that is. It does fall under scripts, but it is a npm command. Navigation. And then service. So that's nice. And so we're going to create a new navigation service. Whenever I do this, so we do have more than one service now, I think. We do because we have speech service as well, which is sitting on top. I would really rather that be, now that there's two of them and we have stuff, we should probably just have a services folder. So I think that will do it. So what I would hope will happen is, let me close up this app. Okay, so within the app, we'll have a services. It would be it would probably be good to move all of these into like a components folder, but for now, that's what we're doing. We're going to just have our services. I believe I don't know why I don't have. Okay, so we're going to add a new terminal, and then we're going to say npm run navigation service. Before I run it, I'm just going to sort of mentally prepare myself. Okay, so I expect to see a services folder show up probably right after logs with our new service in it. So cross your fingers, and it looks like it all went well. So then basically in our app component, we're going to add a services. We are going to add a new services thing. And I do not like this. I don't like how I did this. I would rather use let's just try this because I've done it a few more times. This is the way that historically we've imported services. It's nice. This is a nice way of doing it. The only problem is that a lot of times you end up with dozens of services, and this will just get unwieldy. So in this version of Angular, which I believe is Angular 18, let me just freaking get my head wrapped around that. Yeah, Angular 18 will alt back. You can do it a different way, and you can use a function called inject. It's kind of weird because like that's the same name as a decorator, which I think is technically also a function or a method. But then what you can do is you can say the name of however you want to refer to it, which I'm just going to call it navigation. Navigation. I was like, do I need to put const up there? But I don't. Service. And then I believe it's called navigation service, which may have been a huge mistake because that might be, oh man, I hate it when I do that. All right, delete it. Delete it. This is something that I just do quite often. I write it to where I end up with the two services. I don't want navigation service. I want navigation service. So, and then I wonder if I should say VA voice analyzer navigation service, because it seems like there's probably already something named navigation service. So I'm just begging for trouble. I probably should have put a dash, VA dash navigation service. But they took care of it and they made this capital, which I think makes sense. Equals inject service. I'll tell you, at my current job, we use Angular 9, and man, has Angular improved since then. You know, I really, especially when it comes to stuff like the memory spaces and stuff like that. They had a lot of issues in Angular 9 and older Angulars. But anyway, so now we have our navigation service. Let's see, we are at 11 minutes and 36 seconds. That's a good time to stop. I will acknowledge that I'm so far off topic, and for a couple weeks now, I've been saying, this is going to be the last one where I get it all done. And I have found that people tend to, I and other developers I've noticed, tend to underestimate how much time you're going to spend on your navigation and your the routing. Routing is just tricky. There's just a ton of little things, that you need to do. And the reason it's tricky, anytime you're dealing with where humans can input things, things just get weird. Like they can paste things, they can do all kinds of crazy stuff, and then they can click things, and you want all these things to kind of all work together. And there's just, every time when you're dealing with human beings typing and entering and stuff like that, things just can get weird. Anyways, tomorrow, Sunday, I will move this functionality into our new voice analyzer navigation service. And so then this will read a little bit better, instead of, I'll probably just have like a function that returns this, and so when I set this URL, or when I go to get the URL lookup, I'll just call a function to get it instead of and then set the selected index that way up here by just getting a number from a function that is already defined as a route value types. And then over here, I'll do the same thing. Now, actually, before I do that, I'll probably also create an interfaces folder. And that interfaces folder will have these two interfaces set up in them, so that I don't know, maybe I'll put these two types inside this service. But I think it's probably better to create an interfaces folder, because I'm probably going to need that eventually anyways. So I'll put those two in there, so anytime, if anybody was ever looking, they would be able to easily see what the possible route values are and all that stuff. Anyways, everybody, happy coding, and bye.